Hello, and thanks for joining me, astrologer Patrick Arundel, and my full moon in Leo video analysis. Now, this particular full moon in Leo starts to first show its impact in Los Angeles at 27 minutes to midnight on the 8th of February. For the rest of us, it's pretty well going to be on the 9th of February, and the chart that you can see on screen that I've constructed is actually based on Greenwich. So Greenwich Mean Time at 7:33 a.m. in the morning on the 9th. Now, the fascinating thing about this particular chart at this time is that the Sun in Aquarius, which is opposed by the Moon in the fabulous Leo, actually puts the Sun just into the 12th house. So we actually have an Aquarius ascendant at this time that is exactly conjunct the Sun. And this is quite a golden conjunction. The power of the Sun and the power of the ascendant makes this, at this time, in this particular location, a very, very Aquarian event. But of course, the moon on the other side of the heavens, the polar axis in Leo, is very much about our individuality. It's about manifesting what gives us our identity. So personal expression, creativity, the arts, affection, warmth, love, playfulness, even partying, music, dance, all these things come through the prism of the moon in Leo, which is here. And the gorgeous thing about this particular moon position on this full moon is that it is combining with the part of fortune, an ancient form of Arabic astrology, which, yes, it could be said to be fortunate, but it's also said what makes us passionate. So it's ironic that the sign that rules passion, Leo, is combining with the part of fortune, but in this particular chart, it is the sixth house. Which is very much to do with the detail of things, being of service to others, being concerned with our welfare at a practical level, making sure that things work properly. So a degree of organisation is needed if we're going to manifest over the next couple of weeks all the qualities of this beautiful Leo moon. But there's so much more going on this day. And of course, because of the ascendant being conjunct the Sun, it means the descendant, the seventh house, is also opposite the Sun, which brings the energy back towards Aquarius. So although we may want to be finding a balance between what we've had to do collectively with others coming through the energy of Aquarius, which is very much to do with being a team player, cooperation, collaboration, working in groups, networking, thinking about our future in a more logical way through the air rulership of the sign of Aquarius. But it's all coming on the back of that tumultuous connection of energy in the sign of Capricorn. And of course, we've still got the South Node, Pallas, which is very much to do with how we think in a more masculine way. And then we've got Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn all still in Capricorn. But in this particular chart, Saturn and Pluto are still in that conjunction, just 2 degrees apart now, moving on from the exact conjunction which occurred on the 12th of January, and the power of that annular lunar eclipse on the 10th in Cancer. Well, they're in this particular chart at this particular time and location in the 12th house, along with Ceres, which has moved on from Capricorn and now is into the democratic sign of Aquarius. It's in a part of our situation which is really suggesting that we can find ways to link with others. And then we have the Sun and also the Ascendant in Aquarius too, but all in the 12th house, which points towards a kind of reflection. But it also points towards, I think, an understanding of the interdependency that there is amongst us all, especially in the face of the challenges to personkind, whether this is coming from the coronavirus, whether it's coming from environmental issues like the fires in Australia, or flooding, or earthquakes, because all these things are having a profound impact upon us. So, whilst we could say that just in an individual sense, maybe if we've been too caught up with the collective or thinking about others or our social situations in terms of maybe being a bit of a people pleaser through Aquarius. And the moon in Leo is asking us to think much more about what we need to do as individuals. I still think there is so much that we need to be mindful of in terms of those connections to others. The coronavirus just sums up the challenge to personkind. I really think it does. But we do have three planets in this particular chart that are all in detriment. We have Jupiter, which is in full, I should say, in the sign of Capricorn. But we have Mercury in detriment in Pisces here. And we also have Venus that's just moved into Aries, also in detriment. So that's fascinating. But both Mercury and also Venus are forging beautiful links to other positions. So in the case of Mercury, with the North Node in Cancer, which is going to be in Cancer until the 4th of May, before it inverts into the sign of Gemini, which is going to be really exciting with that long 4-month Venus transit through Gemini that starts on the 4th of April. So we are going to go through a very Gemini period. But I just think this particular trine, and in this first house for Mercury, even though it isn't at its best in Pisces, it is bogged down by the water rulership of Pisces. But I think what we get in here is the potential to find ways to be creative in our links to others, but through the prism of caring for the oceans, caring about how we recycle things or upcycle. I think that can be very creative, that particular angle between Mercury and the North Node. And it can be playful, but just in a different way from that Leo moon. And then, of course, we have Venus can join in with Chiron. Chiron in Aries, this is a return back to this position for Chiron, is really interesting. The comet Chiron is very much to do with where we feel our wound. And in the first house, it's about our identity again, which, of course, is very much about the Leo moon too. And Venus on Chiron is saying, where can we heal something around a relationship which maybe has had a detritus effect on how we feel about ourselves. But also, if you're really interested in Black Moon Lilith, the planet of mysterious desire, well, I should say the notional point, is combining with Neptune in Pisces. So there's a lot of potential for creativity, for thinking outside the box through the prism of Pisces, of thinking collectively through Aquarius, and in an earthy way through Capricorn. So this moon in Leo is not working in isolation to these other influences. Now, some people would claim because Mars is only 5 degrees away from a sextile, that it's also very influential in terms of this particular full moon. It could be argued because there are some fixed stars which can be quite impactful there, but the 5 degrees is quite broad, so that's why I'm happier with this particular chart. So it's saying, for me, we need to retain a perception of the need for collective cooperation, even if over the next couple of weeks we do need to remind ourselves at times of the importance of our individual talents and needs, creativity. And for example, if we've been spending a lot of time in a love relationship recently, it's no bad thing to link out with friends. Or if it's the same in reverse, no bad thing to spend more time with a partner. Or if we're looking for a relationship, finding the drive and manifesting our own thinking and actions about how we may link with others. But it is going to come back to this Aquarius energy. So this full moon, I think, is particularly unique in how it collects us collectively to other people. So if we come up with great ideas, or we want to be generous, which comes through the warmth of the Leo moon, or we want to be kindly or protective to the people we care about, or if there's someone we really want to spoil, if we can do it in a way which is generally good for us all, then that's a very smart thing to do. It's been a real honour to be with you. I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you've not done so before. And if you'd like to ascend above your zodiac sign and discover more about personal astrology based on your time, date and place of birth, please see the link beneath this video. You can get a character analysis from me, which shows where all your planets will be beyond the sun, and also a 12-month forecast, and you can get 30% off. Or you can choose to have a one-to-one consultation with me. But if you want to know how this particular full moon in Leo is going to impact on your zodiac sign or ascendant, please see the link on the screen and below, and you can go to my blog, and I've done an individual prediction for each of the 12 signs. But for now, thank you for joining me. Good luck and goodbye.